What is an asset? Yesterday, I had the opportunity to talk to two recent high school graduates. Both of these high school graduates had a 3.5 plus GPA upon graduating. I asked them the question, what is an asset? And to my surprise, neither could tell me what an asset was or name 2 or 3 assets. Well, I'm sure you know, but an asset is something that either retains value for you or something that earns you money, an asset. And then there's the liability, of course, something that takes money away from you. So something that takes value away. I was really surprised to discover that our system of education, our high school system, had not prepared or taught our kids what assets and liabilities are. Or even if it was taught in some form, it wasn't taught in a way that is retained. Something that children should know. At 18 years old, our kids go out into the world. They're eligible to be drafted into the military. They're able to buy a gun, but yet there are some things that they don't know that they should know. A lot of them are getting married at that point. They're out there on their own. They're getting apartments. They're doing things that's going to change the rest of their life. But yet there's some things that they should know and they don't. And that's what I want you to be aware of so that you can help me to enlighten people about this. Okay, so now that we've got that out of the way, assets, liabilities, and by the way, in asking them that question and realizing they didn't know, I looked at a piece of property that was across the street from where we were, and I said, here's a hint, a raw piece of land. And one of them said to me, why would I want to own an empty piece of land? Of course, I was blown away with that question, but then I said, look, there's a QT, a major gas station sitting on a piece of property. If you had owned that raw land that QT's on, you would now be the recipient of the $20,000, $25,000 a month rent that QT pays for that property, or the $1 million recipient when QT bought that property. And they were like, oh, wow, now I get it. So realizing what the possibility was, they were very excited about it. So then we went into talking about some other assets, such as, owning a business or stocks, bonds, commodities such as gold and silver. Helping them to understand what it was. And in fact, one of them was actually wearing a pair of sneakers that cost $1,200. Now, I haven't the slightest idea what kind of sneaker would cost because I would never pay that kind of money. I don't think I've ever owned a pair of sneakers that were worth more than $100. But one was wearing a pair of sneakers that retails at $1,200, but yet didn't know the difference between an asset and liability or what an asset is. But the liability part, without knowing the term, they were actually investing in liabilities, those sneakers. All right. So what I want you to think about is, what is our education system? What is our high school, our public school system teaching our kids? Because a lot of them are going out into the world and they're unprepared. They spend a lot of time, and I remember I spent a lot of time in classes such as geometry, calculus, history 101, history 202, geography, cooking, things of that nature. What if our high school system spent more time teaching our kids some of the things that could benefit them once they get out there on their own, such as sales skills? I mean, there are more wealth created through sales than probably anything else in this country, probably the world. Sales, teaching kids how to sell a product. How about real estate? What if a teenager took a real estate course while in high school, got their real estate license? Not saying that the student needed to go out and be a realtor after high school, but just the knowledge. I actually have my real estate license, have had it for years. My wife have had hers for probably 20 years. And outside of selling real estate, it has benefited us in our personal purchases of real estate, rental property, leasing property for our business, or just investing in property. What if our kids left high school with that clear understanding and possibly even having their license? It would be invaluable. And it's only 75 hours of course time in this country to get a real estate license. Could that be done in high school? Could a real estate course be substituted for, say, History 202 or calculus? Now, I'm not saying that those items aren't needed, but does it need to be as intense? Since I graduated from high school, I don't think I've used calculus, not once. I've used geometry to some small degree, but not 2 semesters worth of it. How about speaking skills? What if our kids were in an intense speaking class? I've shared with you before, Fortune 100 companies were surveyed, the CEOs once, and they were asked what one skill or trait has benefited you the most in being a successful CEO. And over 90% of those CEOs said that their ability to speak and communicate has benefited them regarding being successful in business. So what if our kids took a intense speaking course? Or how about money management? Our kids have no idea. Kids that are graduating from high school these days, they have no idea how to write a check or balance a checkbook. I think that's unfortunate. That's something that could simply be added to course curriculum in high school. So, there are some other thoughts, but I just threw this in here for you today so that you could get an idea and start thinking about some of the things. If you're involved in our school system, or if you have connections with school boards or politicians that, decide what our kids are taught, maybe this is something that you want to share or express, because I think it's important. All right, if you like this information, please like and subscribe and be blessed.